Namamishwaram Satya Anandarupam Lasat Kundalam Go Kule Brajamanam
Namamishwaram Satya Anandarupam Lasat Kundalam Go Kule Brajamanam
Yashoda Bhyolu Kala Davamanam Paramishtam Achanta Todrucha Gopya
Yashoda Bhyolu Kala Davamanam Paramishtam Achanta Todrucha Gopya
Rudantamo Netra Gugmamrijantam Karamboja Yugmena Satanka Netram
Karamo Netra Yugmamrijantam Karamboja Yugmena Satanka Netram
Muswasa Kampa Chirekanka Kanta Stita Grivam Damo Daram Bhakti Badam
Muswasakamba Vivekananda Stita Grivam Damodaram Bhaktipadam
Iti Driksha Lila Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajantam Akyapayantam
Swami Ananda Kunde Swagoshami Majantam Akyapayantam
Chari Eshita Geshu Bhaktarjitatvam Puna Prema Tastam Jata Vritti Bande
Sati Deshita Keshu Bhaktarjitatam Puna Prematastam Sata Vritti
Vadam Deva Moksham Namokshavadim Va Nachanyam Vrineham Pareshada Piha Idam Teva Punata Gopala Balam Sada Memanyasya Virastam Kimanyai Idam Chemukam Bojam Achantanilai Vritam Kuntalai Snigda Raktaischa Gopya
Idam Devamrita Bojam Achantanilai Vritam Kuntalai Snigda Raktaischa Gopya
Mushchumbitam Bimba Raktadharam Me Manasya Virastam Alam Lakshalabai Namo Deva Damodara Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukkha Jalabdi Magnam Tripadrasti Vrishyati Dinam Bhatanu Grihanesha Mamagya Edaksha Drisya
Tripadrasti Vrishyati Dinam Bhatanu
Uber Atmajo Bada Murjavayadvat Twaya Mochito Bhakti Bhajao Kritao Cha Tata Prema Bhaktim Swatame Priyacha Namo Kshegraho Mesti Damodara Rayata Vishvasya Dhamne
Namaste Sudhamne Suravitikane Swadhiyodadayata Vishvasya Dhamne
Namo Radhikayai Tvadiya Priyayai Namo Nanta Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam
Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyayai Namo Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam
Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyayai Namo Nanta Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam
Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyayai Namo Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam
Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyayai Namo Nanta Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam
Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyayai Namo Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Someone keeps talking through the phone. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hey Rama, Hey Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Hey Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hare Govinda 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 Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol Jai Jai Gaur Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Nitai Jai Gaur Nitai Go Premanandi Om Gana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militang Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Kartik Mahina ki Shri Radha Damodara ki Shri Yashoda Damodara ki Shri Gaurnitai ki Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON Hong Kong Yatra ki Jai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to our ISKCON Hong Kong Sunday Evening Feast program. Today we are most fortunate and happy to have with us His Holiness Devamrita Swami, and especially visiting us in Hong Kong during this most auspicious month of Kartik. Most of you are already aware or know about Maharaj, but for those of you who don't, I'm just going to give a brief introduction. Maharaj was born in New York, USA, and studied at Yale University. Shortly afterwards, he came into contact with Srila Prabhupada's books and thoroughly studied them before joining the temple in 1972. In 1974, Maharaj took initiation from Srila Prabhupada and devoted his life to preaching Krishna consciousness as well as distributing Srila Prabhupada's books and serving at the BBT, the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. In 1982, Devamrita Swami took sannyas, and in 2002 he began serving as an initiating spiritual master in ISKCON. His background in BBT as a manager and his many difficult years of sharing Krishna consciousness in the former communist Eastern Bloc countries gave him valuable life experience that led to his future as being one of the GBCs of ISKCON, the governing body commissioner. And since 2001, he has occupied this responsible post as GBC Vice Chairman and later on as Chairman. His current regional responsibilities include Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Brazil, and the Gitanagari Farm project in Pennsylvania. And Maharaj also travels extensively around the world. He's also a published author and has written many books such as Searching for Vedic India and Perfect Escape, and more recently, Hiding in Unnatural Happiness. Maharaj has a unique ability to analyze modern problems through the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and challenges his audience to understand that the quest for genuine personal and social upliftment is rooted in comprehensive knowledge, often addressing topics on spiritually based economics, sustainability, and environmentalism. And his strategic guidance has proved invaluable to students and professionals seeking to balance their spiritual and professional lives. And Maharaj often remarks that spiritual life is a dynamic, experiential reality, not a token subscription of a belief system. So with that background, can we all put our hands together and give a very, very warm Haribo! 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 Welcome Maharaj to ISKCON Hong Kong. Those of you who need translation, please know that simultaneous translation into Chinese is happening on Zoom, and you need to go next door for that, please. Otherwise, those of you who are here in the temple room, please kindly put your phones on silent mode so that we do not interrupt Maharaj's discussion. And he's going to share with us some deep insights about the Damodara Lila today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Rudantam mahur netra yugmam rajantam karam bhoja yugmena satanka netram. In this second prayer of the Sri Damodarastaka, we focus on Krishna's fear. Now the question is whether Krishna's fear is for real or he is just faking it. What have you concluded? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can he be afraid of anything when fear itself is afraid of Krishna? Queen Kunti says this. We've been discussing in the first canto, chapter 8 of Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you have the full set of Srimad Bhagavatam in your home? How many do not? Every home, every flat, every apartment in Hong Kong should have Srimad Bhagavatam, the full set. And we should read them because in that way we are associating with Krishna. Not simply through the kirtan, through the japa, but through Srimad Bhagavatam, the literary incarnation of Krishna. Sometimes people say, oh, we'll never have time to read these books. You don't know what the future is going to bring. And just by having these books in your home, you have the presence of Krishna there. So no home is too small for Srimad Bhagavatam. So my desire is that each of you has all of Srimad Bhagavatam in your home. And that will make your home auspicious and blessed. So, Krishna's fear. Queen Kunti Dev says, Vidambanam. This is bewildering. How could it be that when fear itself is afraid of Krishna, but here we have Krishna afraid of Mother Yashoda? What's going on? How was this pastime set up, which resulted in Krishna being afraid And of course, we have to discuss, is that fear for real or not? Is he just faking it? Kunti Devi says, I'm bewildered because it's for real. His fear is for real. How could Krishna be afraid of something? But this is Krishna acting in the bhava of his relationship with his mother. He's really into it. And that's what makes the pastime so sweet. If Krishna wants, he can become afraid. He can do anything. So for the sake of exchanging love with his mother, he's completely afraid. Oh no, she's standing there. What does Mother Yashoda do? The first prayer tells you, Paramishtam Achantato Drutya Gopya. She chases him and catches him from behind. How many of you mothers have chased children and caught them from behind? So this is what happened to Krishna, who the greatest yogis can't capture Krishna. The greatest yogis want to merge their mind into Brahman. They can't even approach the tips of the toes of Krishna. Yet, Krishna is captured by Mother Yashoda, apprehended, caught like a thief from behind by his mother. So Kunti Devi, she's a devotee she's a Dwarka devotee, basically. Hastinava, Dwarka, same. So she knows Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, she's bewildered. How can the Supreme Personality of Godhead be afraid of Mother Yashoda? And she's bewildered, she says, vidambanam, because Krishna is actually afraid. So then you have to think, what kind of love of God is this in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead is afraid of his mother? But she wants to nourish him. She wants to train him. She wants to guard him. She is thinking, if I don't take care of Krishna, if I don't train Krishna, he'll be a naughty person. She's sure that Krishna is completely dependent on her for his existence. So she's determined to train him. How many of you mothers have been determined to train your children? You must do this. Why? Because I say so. So this is what Yashoda Mata is doing to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Kunti Devi knows he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So she's wondering, what's going on here? But Mother Yashoda doesn't think that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why? Because she's covered by Yoga Maya, Krishna's personal energy for managing his pastimes. So for the sake of sweetness, for the sake of pure love, not hindered by majesty and reverence, Mother Yashoda doesn't know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why not? Because Krishna doesn't want her to know. And that makes the loving exchange sweeter. Krishna wants to show all the Gyanis, all the yogis, look, I'm coming under the control of my pure devotee. That is the greatest pleasure. How many of you, fathers or mothers, have, when your children were little, played like you were under their control? How many have done that? Privately, not in public. No one has done it? Yes. I'll tell you one scene I saw in the airport in Melbourne, Australia. I was waiting to board a flight, and I was at the gates, seated. I was sitting down, and there were maybe 4 gates for airplanes, all in one section. And so there were maybe 200 people seated, and many standing. So I saw a very well-dressed man in his 30s, and his family, very well-dressed wife, and a 4-year-old daughter, very well-dressed. You could tell they're probably he's probably a businessman or executive going somewhere for a holiday or visiting family with. So the little girl, the 4-year-old girl, stood up in front of her father, and remember the 300 people around waiting for airplanes. She stood up in front of her father and pointed to the floor. "Down, Daddy, down!" And the man would throw himself out of his chair on his back on the floor. Never mind the 300 people watching. And again, as soon as the man would get up and sit back in his chair, "Down, Daddy, down!" He would throw himself off the chair onto the floor. This went on for 10 times. So everyone is watching this little girl control her father. And the ladies are blushing and smiling. Oh, how sweet. So that's an example of how, even in this material world, in material affairs, you like to come under the control of someone's love. Sometimes when the husbands are feeling very soft-hearted, what do they say? "Yes, my dear, whatever you say." They change the next day, of course, but "Yes, my dear, whatever you say." You like to come under the control of someone's love if you trust that person. You like that experience. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the origin of everything. So he's the origin of subordination to pure love. So that's what's happening in this Damodara Lila. So how did it start? This whole situation, how did it start? Mother Yashoda is very concerned that Krishna keeps breaking into others' houses and stealing milk products. That's her concern. Is there something wrong with the milk products in my own home? Why does my little boy have to go breaking into others' houses, raiding other houses and taking butter, feeding it to the monkeys? I will personally prepare some milk products for him. I won't even let my maidservants do it. I can't trust them. Maybe they'll burn it. Maybe they'll burn the milk. So Mother Yashoda has personally taken charge of preparing this milk product for Krishna. And she makes sure to get the milk from very special cows. In Nanda Maharaj's herd of thousands upon thousands of cows, there are some that are very special amongst the special cows. There are some that are very special. They give specially flavored milk. So Yashoda Mai has taken milk from these very special cows. You can just think, all the cows of Nanda Maharaj are special, but still there's some that are very special in that the milk they give has a unique flavor. So Mother Yashoda, try to understand her mindset. She's thinking, how to keep my boy satisfied at home. He's muckanchor, he's the butter thief, I've got to stop this. How will I stop it? I'll stop it by giving him superior milk products at home. So she's churning the milk into butter. It's early in the morning because that's when you do such activities in Braj. You do the churning early in the morning. Where's Nanda Maharaj? Where are the cowherd men? They're making arrangements for Govardhan Puja, because at the time of Mother Yashoda making this butter for Krishna, it's also the time for Govardhan Puja, which should have been what? It should have been Indra Puja. But that's all been disrupted by little Krishna. So the cowherd men are running here and there, making arrangements for the Govardhan Puja, which comes when? Next Saturday. This coming Saturday. So Mother Yashoda has taken it upon herself. I'm going to do something to make my son more focused, and so he'll not be so naughty, raiding other people's houses for milk products, distributing the butter to the monkeys. So what is Krishna doing? He hasn't gotten up yet in the morning. He's taking rest. Now, why does the Supreme Personality of Godhead need to take rest? But this is all pleasure pastime. Krishna has no material body. He has no material needs. But for his own pleasure, and his own pleasure is the pleasure of his devotees. Krishna wants to see that his pure devotees are experiencing pleasure in their relationship with him. Otherwise, Krishna has no need to do anything. So he gets up. And what is his mother doing? She's churning the milk into butter. And while she's doing that, she's chanting songs about Krishna. She's creating such a beautiful sight. Srila Prabhupada explains that especially for those attracted to Vatsalya Prem, love of Krishna in parentalhood, they fix their mind on Mother Yashoda's beauty in churning the yogurt into butter. She's doing this with such affection that the milk is flowing from her breasts out of affection. She loves her child so much. Her eyebrows are expressing so much joy. She's singing songs about Krishna. Songs that have been composed by others, as well as her own songs. Krishna wakes up, and he wants to be fed by his mother. So what does he do? While she's churning the yogurt into butter, little Krishna comes and grabs the churning rod, indicating, stop, feed me, I'm hungry. Mother Yashoda is so impressed by how clever little Krishna is that he knows how to grab the churning rod and stop the whole process that she's been undertaking. So she stops churning and she picks Krishna up onto her lap to feed him. And while she feeds him, she can stare into his face, which is infinitely beautiful. Little Gopal Krishna, Yashoda Mai is staring into his face. But then what happens? On the stove nearby, the milk is boiling over. Has that happened to any of you? So, what does she do? What's wrong with what she's done? What she will do? She puts Krishna down, interrupts the breastfeeding of Krishna, puts him down, and quickly goes to the stove to rescue the milk that's boiling over. Now, this is a very decisive point. This is a very significant point in the Lila. Why does Mother Yashoda put Krishna down and go to the stove when Krishna has not finished sucking her breast? What's going on? Doesn't she care about Krishna? Yes, because everything in her home is 100% meant for Krishna's pleasure. Whether she's feeding Krishna, breastfeeding him, or she's boiling milk on the stove for Krishna, it's all 100% Shuddha Bhakti pure devotional service, 100% for Krishna's pleasure. That is the secret of the Vrindavan atmosphere. You can make Vrindavan in your home, in your country, in the whole world. You can make Vrindavan just by making everything for Krishna's pleasure. So she didn't do wrong by putting Krishna down. How do you know? Prabhupada explains a very deep point in the purport. How do you know what to do first for Krishna and what to do second? Krishna in the heart gives you instruction. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Krishna says, for those who are serving him constantly with priti, with love, he personally gives you direction, what to do now, what to do later. So bhakti is not stagnant or sterile or mechanical. In the higher stages of bhakti, you are guided by Krishna. Now, someone very smart might say, why didn't Mother Yashoda keep holding Krishna and then, while doing that, run to the stove? Maybe some mothers here have done that. While holding the child, you quickly go and do something else. But the acharyas point out that she knew, Yashoda Mai knew, I've got to quickly get to the stove to rescue the boiling milk. I can't move that quickly if Krishna is still clinging to me. So therefore she put Krishna down. Now what is she thinking about the milk on the stove? She's thinking this is real wealth, and the little child doesn't understand what is real wealth. Now what are you going to say about that? It's just milk. What's the big deal? So cheap at the store. You buy the milk at the store from cows that are killed, but I didn't kill the cow. What do I care? So what's so valuable about milk? You think valuable things are gold and diamonds? Especially in Hong Kong, they like diamonds, yes. Yeah, that is real wealth. How many diamonds are you wearing? How many gold bangles do you have? But Mother Yashoda, she has all the gems and all the jewels. But she knows milk is wealth. She's thinking like that. My little child Krishna doesn't understand that there's wealth on the stove that's being spoiled. So for his sake, I have to go rescue the wealth. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is known as Dhananjaya, the getter of wealth. But here you see Yashoda Mai demonstrating the glories of milk. Of course, the society we live in today, the human society, the global society we live in today, has no appreciation for milk. How you can become wealthy just by milk. That's a lost civilization. Remember Krishna's birth ceremony? Nanda Maharaj made such a big festival right after the appearance of Krishna, Janmashtami, the Nanda Mahotsava. What were the Brijbasis doing? They were throwing milk on each other in celebration. The ground was so slippery, it's covered with milk and yogurt and butter. They were just throwing all the different milk products on each other in joy. That's how wealthy they were. But what would we say? Oh, where are the BMWs? Where are the Mercedes? We don't know what real wealth is. We're working so hard, straining our bodies, straining our minds. We're stressed out to the max. But we criticize. Mother Yashoda thinks milk is so valuable. How primitive. How prehistoric. But she knows that my son doesn't know that there's wealth on the stove, and I don't want to see that wealth squandered. I don't want to see that wealth wasted. So that's why she puts Krishna down. She knows if I keep him holding on to me, I can't quickly get to the stove. So I put him down, and then I rescue the milk. So that's what she did. But of course, as you know, Krishna had a problem with this. He made a temper tantrum. Any of you little kids make temper tantrums? You know what a temper tantrum is? We'll ask your mother. Does she make a temper tantrum? I want. Bite your lip. Have you done this? But Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead, so he can be supremely angry, the most angry little child. So you know what happens then. He breaks a butter pot, and the contents are running all over the floor. And then Krishna goes into another room and takes milk products hanging from the ceiling in a pot. He takes that because he climbs up onto a mortar for grinding spices. He climbs up, stands on top of it, and then gets the milk products and starts distributing them to the monkeys. The monkeys eat and eat and eat. And then Krishna says, just see, what's the use of this butter? The monkeys don't even want it. Meanwhile, Mother Yashoda, she's finished taking care of the milk on the stove. Where is Krishna? She looks, and there's a broken butter pot with butter, liquid butter, leaking out all over the floor. So how does she find Krishna? Who knows? You don't know? How does she find Krishna? Yes, detective work in Vrindavan. She sees butter-smeared footprints on the floor. So she makes a plan. She's going to catch Krishna in the act. She's going to catch him right when he's distributing butter to the monkeys. So she slowly follows the footprints. And what is Krishna doing? He's busy feeding the monkeys, but he's fearful. He's looking here and there. He knows he's making mischief. Yes, you make mischief? Do you know what mischief is? You can be naughty? Now he's admitting yes. So Krishna knows he's being naughty. So he's looking. He knows his mother will be chasing him any moment. So she tries to sneak up behind him and catch him without his knowing that, but he's watching. And as soon as she enters the room, Krishna jumps down from the grinding mortar and runs. And that's why Mother Yashoda is chasing him. So it's a big deal. It's a big thing that she is chasing Krishna, who can't be caught. As we said, he can't be caught by the greatest yogis. He can't be caught by the greatest gyanis, mental speculators. But she catches him from behind because of bhakti. So now we get to number 2. Prayer number 2. Rudantam mohanetra yugmam rijantam. She's caught Krishna. So look at this situation. See what's happening. See it in your mind's eye. She has Krishna caught. She has one hand of Krishna in her hand. She's holding one hand of Krishna's. And in the other hand, what does she have? Stick. So this is what's upsetting Krishna so much. Krishna knows I've got two choices to get her to put the stick down because I don't want to get beat. So what does he do? Cries. Have you done that? Have you ever cried? Mother, no, no, please, I'll be good. Have you ever said like that? Yeah. I promise, never again. So that's what Krishna is doing. Remember, his mother has his one hand in her hand, and the mother with the other hand, her other hand has the stick, and Krishna is pleading, no, I'll be good. Put the stick down, put the stick down. And Mother Yashoda is saying, I will not put this stick down until you promise not to do any more mischief. I promise, put the stick down. So while he's pleading with his mother to put the stick down, tears are coming from his eyes. Now the tears coming from little Krishna's eyes are very controversial. Are they fake tears or are they real? And you know how children, when they cry, they rub both eyes with both hands. And Krishna does that also. It's part of Balya Lila. Yes, you can remember you cry like that and rub your eyes with both hands? You don't remember. Or you never did any mischief. She's not so sure about that. So, Rudantam Mohur Netra Yugmam Vijantam. Karamboja Yugmena Satanka Netram. Satanka Netram. His eyes are filled with fear. Not simply fear, but, my mother's going to beat me. So some say that he's faking. He's rubbing his eyes, putting on a show, making the teardrops fall from his eyes. And the eyes are full of tears. That means what happens to the mascara, the black paste? What do you call it? Yes, it's around his eyes, but he's crying, so it's running down his face. Now what happens when your makeup runs down your face? You're in complete anxiety. Oh, this looks horrible. But when Krishna's makeup runs down his face, he looks even more beautiful. Because Krishna is the ornament of his ornaments, as we discussed the other day. When Krishna wears ornaments, it's not to look more beautiful. Krishna makes the ornaments look more beautiful. So again, I ask the question, how many ladies can say that they are the ornament of their ornaments? No, you put on ornaments to look better, yes? Krishna puts on ornaments to make the ornaments look better. That is God. So Krishna's body is shaking. You could say he's really putting on a good show. He's making his body shake. Or you could understand he's actually afraid because that's the best way to be in the relationship with his mother, so that her love, her parental love, Vatsalya Ras, is deepened. So he's shaking his body and sobbing. And he has necklaces, pearl necklaces around his neck. And the pearl necklaces are shaking because his whole body is shaking. So in this way, Krishna is trying to convince his mother, don't beat me. So what is Mother Yashoda thinking? Seeing her little boy shaking with fright, tears coming from his eyes, he's rubbing his eyes with his two lotus hands. Mother Yashoda is concerned about child psychology. I don't want my son to grow up with some psychological complex. Mothers have to consider all these factors, yes? So I want that my son is psychologically healthy. If he's too afraid of his mother, that's not good. But I have to do something because he keeps doing mischief. Running into others' houses, stealing butter. I don't know. He may run out into the forest out of fear. He's so restless. The acharyas explain this. So what to do? That's why she decides to tie Krishna to the grinding mortar. That's why she decides to do it. Because Krishna is so restless. She's afraid that he's so afraid. He's going to race off here, race off there. And also she's thinking, I have to teach him not to steal butter. Whether stealing butter from my house, his own house, or others' houses. I have to teach him. I'm his mother. She's not thinking he's God. And Krishna doesn't want her to think he's God. Krishna wants to relish the sweetness of the pure parental relationship. So he submits to her tying him up. One knot tied around the mortar, the other knot tied around Krishna's waist. That's a whole endless talk about how she was able to tie Krishna. But what we're focusing on tonight is the fear. Kunti Devi says Krishna is actually afraid, and that's bewildering her. That reality is bewildering her. So you could say that from another point of view, from a more external point of view, Krishna's faking. I've got to put on a good show of crying so my mother won't beat me. But at the deeper level, the acharyas explain, he's actually fearful because he's acting in that pure parental-child relationship. So this is what the second verse, this is some of what the second verse of Damodarastak is conveying. Stita Grivam Damodaram Bhakti Badam. Krishna is bound not exactly by the rope, that he's bound by Mother Yashoda's bhakti. So one last point. She is acting based on parental love for the child. Krishna is acting based on, I'm reciprocating with my devotee who wants to love me as her child. So Krishna is reciprocating with her bhakti. She's not thinking she's doing bhakti. She's thinking, I'm taking care of my child. I'm going to correct my child. So she's not thinking bhakti. But Krishna is thinking, I accept her bhakti. Her pure Vatsalya prem. Her love of Krishna in parental rasa. All right, any questions? Yes.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So how can you mean we are starting Srimad Bhagavatam and living by Srimad Bhagavatam's instruction? So how can get the power for living for Srimad Bhagavatam's instruction?
How to get the power for living according to Bhagavatam? You pray for the mercy of Guru and Krishna. The combined mercy of Guru and Krishna. Guru and Krishna function as a team. This is Krishna's system. You might say, why does Krishna need us to have a guru? But Krishna is a person who has a system. And that system is the teamwork between the guru and Krishna. No other questions? So we have heard about different excellences. This verse presents the excellence of Lila. The other day we talked about the excellence of Krishna's beauty. But today we're focusing on the internal dynamics between Yashoda Mai and Krishna. And remember, Krishna is angry. You put me down. I haven't finished being nursed. But Mother Yashoda is thinking, my child doesn't know the wealth that's on the stove boiling over. So this Lila is also teaching us something about a real human civilization. Do we think a real human civilization is Hong Kong? Polluted air, tall buildings everywhere, traffic. Real human civilization is land and cows. So that's why Yashoda Mai is racing toward the stove. She even puts Krishna down, apparently neglecting Krishna. Of course, Krishna is going to take it that you're neglecting me. I haven't finished drinking your breast milk, and you put me down. So in this way, the dynamic in pure love of Krishna as a parent is going on. All right. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.